The news day continues here on One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The MMDA has recently come out with two proposals to address the increasing traffic in and around the metro. Let's get more details from MMDA Chairman Attorney Romando Artes. Good afternoon, Attorney Artes. Thank you for sharing your time with us this afternoon. Could you give us more details on the two proposed coding schemes that you have come up with, and which one of those two do you see being closer to being implemented?
Actually, these two proposals are still being studied. We'll have to consult with stakeholders as well as present this to the Metro Manila Council for approval. These two schemes, the first of the two schemes is the 50% reduction, wherein it will be an odd-even scheme. Those plate numbers ending with 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9 will be covered by the scheme Monday and Thursday, and then those even number plate ending with even numbers 24680 will be covered Tuesday and Friday. Wednesday there will be no coding. The second proposal is that it's a 40% reduction, wherein plate numbers ending with 1, 2, 3, and 4 will be covered on a Monday, 5, 6, 7, 8 will be covered Tuesday, 9012 will be covered Wednesday, and so on. So basically, under the second scheme, you will be covered twice, but in both instances, it's only 7 to 10 a.m. and 5 to 8 p.m., where the usual rush hour traffic is shown.
Right, Attorney Artes. So basically, what you're saying is one proposal, one proposes to lower vehicular volume by 50%, and the other one by 40%. But the data is still being studied at the moment. So, do you have a preference on which scheme you think would be more effective?
The first one will be easier to implement because it's basically odd or even number. So the confusion will be less. And I just want to emphasize, Sean, that this is only for limited hours of the day. So the number coding scheme will not cover the whole day. So our kababayans can adjust their schedule. This is to basically spread out the vehicles throughout the day and not concentrate during rush hours, which is usually 7 to 9 a.m. in the morning and 5 to 8 p.m. in the evening. And this will be coupled with other proposals like the daylight saving time, which is the proposal for government offices to open between 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. and the proposed 4-day work week for the private sector.
Right. I still recall, Attorney Artes, that earlier this month, there was still no need to bring back the coding scheme in morning, or at least for the morning rush hour, and to just maintain it in the evening rush hour. Having said that, what is the traffic volume like nowadays? Are we already back to pre-pandemic vehicular volume?
No, not yet. At the recent count, there's 392,000 vehicles in EDSA. But after the spike of the price of gasoline, it went down to 370, and the speed is still at 21 kilometers per hour, which is much faster than the pre-pandemic level of only 11 to 13 kilometers an hour. So I can say that we still don't need to implement or expand the number coding scheme as of the moment. But in preparation for face-to-face classes in June, we're thinking of ways on how to reduce the volume of vehicles in our streets. Sean.
All right, and speaking of thinking of new ways to reduce the volume of vehicles under your new schemes, the MMDA is also said to be considering the implementation of daylight savings time for government offices here in Metro Manila. How will this help ease the volume of traffic at rush hours?
Yes, because we have plenty of government agencies concentrated here in Metro Manila as well as LGUs. So there will be a reduction, substantial reduction in the volume of vehicles. And second, those who are transacting in government offices will be spread out also. So they will not have to join the rush hour. They can go to the government offices early at 7 a.m. and they can go home early too because the offices will be closed by 4 p.m.
All right, thank you so much for your time, for taking our call. MMDA Chairman, Attorney Romando Artes over the phone. Thank you, sir. In other news, the Manila LGU is closing in on a deal with Elon Musk's SpaceX to acquire satellites for better internet service. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez with that story.
Manila Mayor Isko Moreno on Tuesday met with representatives of SpaceX, which is owned by tech titan Elon Musk, to tap their satellite internet service called Starlink. Starlink uses what's known as LEOsats, or low Earth orbit satellites, which can deliver data faster and at higher bandwidths.
This Starlink low orbiter satellite can provide 110 Mbps. 110 Mbps. Real, no? Yun yung for residential bandwidth, and it can, do sa enterprise, it can give up to 500 Mbps speed or bandwidth.
Moreno says the technology will be rolled out in the city of Manila soon, with barangay halls, hospitals, and schools the priority.
Mahihintay lang namin yung mga regulatory agencies. After that, Manila can deploy about 896 discs for 896 barangay, 104 public school, elementary and high school, and dalawang kolehiyo.
Moreno said that means they would have to acquire over 1,000 dishes from Starlink, which will cost the city roughly 26 million pesos in today's conversion rate. But one benefit of satellite is that there's no need to lay down expensive cables.
Acquisition of service lang to. You don't need to pay hundreds of billions of pesos just to build the infrastructure. And the good news is, this will be the first in Southeast Asia.
Moreno is not the only one in talks with SpaceX. The Department of Trade and Industry and various private companies, like Converge, have also been trying to negotiate a deal with them. But SpaceX doesn't have a license yet to operate in the Philippines. The representatives Moreno met with on Tuesday will also be meeting other national government officials. Starlink says it has launched more than 1,700 satellites in space. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
We'll be back with more stories after this quick break. Stay with us here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. A social media influencer has become a dependable source of COVID-19 updates in Hong Kong through his Twitter account. The story in this Bloomberg Quick Take.
How uncomfortable are you doing this?
Doing this interview, majorly uncomfortable. It's way outside my comfort zone, but I'm doing it anyway.
Aaron Bush, aka Tripperhead, ran his Twitter account anonymously for the past 2 years.
I'm a bit of a hermit, put it that way.
He's become one of Hong Kong's biggest social media influencers, providing real-time updates on the city's rapidly changing COVID policies.
So I'm a stay-at-home dad with 2 kids who are growing up and don't really need the dad bit of it anymore. So I started tracking this COVID information from January 2020 just for my own personal information. I had started a spreadsheet. I was tracking the numbers from China just in case something was going to happen. So I started tweeting out that information and then it started to snowball.
He says he's not taken a day off since.
Each day I'd watch the press conference anyway, so I thought, oh well, I might as well put that information out. Maybe one person out there doesn't know that information and it'll help them out.
We have included one 8-year-old girl.
A lot of the information that was online was only in Chinese, so I started to translate the local news stories into English for people to read because they couldn't read it.
He breaks down press releases and government data and answers questions while injecting a little humor.
I wake up, I have a coffee, and then it's 14 hours of doing the news reporting. I get to bed about 2 a.m.
He does it voluntarily, but fans can buy him coffee or send Bitcoin.
One of the big interesting things about the interest that I'm receiving online is it's 99.9% positive. And I mean, everybody knows Twitter is a cesspool of horrid. One of the weird things with Tripperhead Twitter is everybody seems to be in a community. They want the news, and if they ask a question, I'll always answer it.
The 47-year-old Australian native has lived in Hong Kong for 8 years.
At no point did I expect me to be the person responsible for the English language Hong Kong COVID news. I'd never tried to do that, but the information at the beginning and for a lot of the outbreak, to be honest, hasn't been very good in English. There's only a handful of local newspapers. They don't put stuff out immediately because it's not their job.
Aaron has met new people through his platform. It's encouraged him to come out of his shell.
I genuinely didn't do it for popularity because it's a daily job. So to do it every single day for, I think we're at 720 days in a row, it does get tiresome. But if it does help out one person, then I'm glad that I do it. I'm going to keep doing it until it doesn't need to be done anymore.
For more updates, visit News 5, The Philippines Star, and Business World online. Visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on the Signal Play app. Register for a free account at www.signalplay.com and stream One News Live anytime, anywhere. Masks on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I am Sean Yao. We are One News.